everybody to card number 4. We're working on a super fun spinner card today. So this one is extra girly, extra glitzy, and we're still working on that April monthly kit from Hero Arts. So I'm just super in love with it. And I'm starting off by showing you how I color both sides of the dresses here. I'm just using a Distress Picked Raspberry marker, and I'm using watercolor paper, and I'm pulling that out with some water. Very, very simple to use. In fact, I was impressed. I had picked these up on sale, and it was just really fast and really fun to watch how it leaves dimension when you put the color directly on the lines, and how easy it is to just pull that color out. So I love watercoloring with those. I'm going to make a background here for my card, and I have laid out those words from the kit, unique, glamorous, wonderful, and there's one more. You'll see it once it lights up. The best, I think I put on there. And so I have kind of stamped those out with some Versamark ink on my watercolor paper, and kind of, I guess, made them a little cattywampus, if you will. And so they're not directly lined up each word across, and they're more diagonal. And then I used white embossing powder. Now, the reason I used white was because it's going to really shine bright when I start doing the resist over it, versus if I used clear, the watercolor paper is not stark white. So I wanted to really have those words pop on the paper. And so then I pulled out my Distress inks, and I'm working with Chipped Sapphire. I want to say Cracked Pistachio is the last color I use, and this one's Broken China, I do believe. I was going to use Mermaid Lagoon, but then it just matched too closely, so I wanted to have a little bit of a difference there. And so you'll see there I tested it out. I was like, that's not really going to work. And so I pulled out the Cracked Pistachio to give it a little bit more tealish color on the bottom. And so I'm just using it. Now, Distress inks go on like butter when you're using watercolor paper. It's regular cardstock I have a hard time blending as evenly with. So here I'm going to cut an oval out in the middle because I'm going to make a spinner card, of course. You need that space in the center. But what I'm doing now is a mirror image. And so on the back of a stamp I have, which is flat on the back, I've stamped my image, and then I've transferred that over to another piece of watercolor. Now, watercolor, because it has a little bit of raised bumps on it, it did not stamp evenly. Usually I have to retrace it anyway, but especially I had to with this one because I barely just got the outline of what I was going to be looking at. So I took one of my markers, and fine line markers, and I outlined that. And then the next thing I'm going to do, because the marker I used was so much thinner than the original, is I am outlining this with a Versamark pen. And so then I am going to be dipping black embossing powder over it. Now what that's going to do is it's going to make the lines super stark black. And I really liked the way that turned out. So I had to grab the other side, and I had to trace that over with the Versamark pen, and then dip it in the black ink or the black powder as well, so that they would match. Because when you spin the card, it's nice if they both match, at least for this card. That's what I was going for. So there's my two sides, the mirror image and the original. And then keep in mind, I can't use my die cut to cut out the mirror image because it wouldn't match. So I had to fussy cut it with a white border. So in the inside of the card, to give it that extra sparkle and shine, I'm going to place in an oval that I cut out of some silver glitter paper. This glitter paper is ever so shiny. I absolutely love that stuff. So that is going on the inside. And then you see a navy cardstock originally, but I decided to change it to more of this kind of like a pool or minty green type color. I just like that a whole lot more. It lightened it up. Okay, putting my two pieces together, I am actually going to sandwich a hanger in between them. And so in order to do that, I used some foam tape, and then I am using glue dots on both sides of the hanger and the paper so that it sticks both the top and the bottom. Now, before I did this, mind you, you want to put your string, or in my case, I used fishing line in between the dresses first, so don't forget that step. And then I'm going to affix it before I put my very top panel down with all the words on it. I'm going to affix my spinner inside. And the way I do that is super strong score tape on the top and bottom, and then I let the wire hang on the top and bottom, and then I'm putting another piece of score tape over that. This is going to ensure full security for that fishing line. Once that's done, I've put strong score tape, the same kind, on the back side of my front panel, and that's going to even that out all the way around. So I'm just pulling off those release papers, and I'm going to get that laid down here so that we're good to go. Alright, so that's that piece of the card there. And there you have it. Now I'm going to just spin it up for you real quick so that you can see the mechanism of this card and how it's supposed to work. And boop, you pop it open and there it goes. It's a little interactive card, and I know you saw that little hand reach in and take it. That was my daughter. She had to get a good close-up look at it. She was enamored by it. So then I'm just finishing off the card. I added a little bit of sequins on the front, and I added some shimmer pen to the top and bottom. And that's it for the card. So I hope you liked this one. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see the next 2 cards in the series. And thank you so much for joining with me, for crafting with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.